It is,
Hey
sir.
everybody, we're here for the new episode of the RLG cast. It's been a while, but we're back. It's the summertime, so we're taking longer breaks than usual. But we're right back into it today. We're going to be talking mostly about some Deadpool news that came out. We're going to go over everything you need to know. This is the full guide of bubblegum chewing and kicking ass
Yes,
with
and I'm all out of
JD
bubble
and the
gum.
Puttyman. Puttyman is secretly Ryan Reynolds in disguise. He looks like Martin Freeman if he was dressed up as the Penguin. But so we'll just jump right into this because what's holding back? We saw the suit. They announced that we were gonna see the suit for Wolverine, the yellow and blue suit, signature from the comic suit. Suit. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Did you subscribe yet?
So I want to bring this up too. A lot of people have been complaining about the sleeves, and I found out online that the reason the sleeves are happening is because of that Hugh Jackman cancer scare that he had. So they don't want him exposing his arms to the sun while he's doing that. But there is the whole thing, like, what if he just rips them off when we finally get it, like in an indoor scene, which might happen. But
who cares?
But that's
it looks
much
great.
The suit the suit does look great.
I will say though that someone did show the suit modified without the sleeves, and it does make a huge difference, especially as a fan. But I could still ignore that.
I genuinely think it looks good how it is.
I agree. I can't wait to see the rest of the. I can't wait to see the rest of the X-Men as Halle Berry's outfit. That means we're gonna. Probably
She's not in it.
Huh?
What are you talking about, Halle Berry? She's not in the movie.
Well, I mean, how do you know?
Okay, hold on. Before I even get into this discussion, because how about Robert Pattinson's Batman suit in this movie?
Right?
This is my thing, okay? Before I let you have your fun, because I understand what you want to do here. You can't just decide who's in the movie. Speculate. It has to be announced.
Okay, no, I get that. Okay, how about this? All right. If you guys want to go on announcement, here's the one thing we know for a fact, based on the thing, okay, we know it's going to be Deadpool kills the Fox universe. Now, tell me I'm wrong about that.
Well, you're right, because I've decided that, so it has to be right.
Well, no, the reason I say that is because they showed the 20th Century Fox logo, which is probably going to be the pruned location, just like in the TVA. And I think that's what they're going for, is that the whole
Well, I also
I got a theory too.
Just gonna throw this out there. Disney owns 20th Century Fox, who owns X-Men still technically by law. So therefore, they have to put the 20th Century Fox thing on any X-Men related movies.
That's why in the set photo you see the 20th Century Fox logo destroyed. Have you seen that set photo?
Yes, of course I have. I've seen everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Storm. I can't wait to see Storm's suit.
The only one I've heard rumored is what's his name coming back as Gambit.
Okay, so here's what we know: Channing Tatum as Gambit. Before we talk about
no, I heard the other guy as Gambit.
The guy who played Channing Tatum.
No, I heard what's his name? The guy who was in John Carter there.
You're talking about John Carter guy.
Yeah,
he doesn't deserve Emil Hirsch.
He was. I think I heard that was him that was coming back as Gambit.
I don't know. I heard a lot of Channing Tatum stuff.
Yeah, I did too.
Out of all the things we're about to talk about, neither one of those is confirmed.
Yes. Okay, but that's the rumor, though.
As far as the images, we only know that Hugh Jackman is the one returning. But based on the actors saying themselves and anything, or putting little rumors out there, here's the ones again that the rumor knows about. So again, I know you guys want to put that role of again. These are based on rumors, not what Kevin Feige confirmed. I already know Hugh Jackman in, but the other ones are James Marsden, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Halle Berry, Famke Jensen, and then the other two are Ben Affleck, possibly Chris Evans playing Johnny Storm, and Jennifer Garner apparently confirmed that she's coming back for election.
Garner and Affleck are confirmed. Garner is confirmed. I think Ben Affleck is all but confirmed as well.
Ben Affleck is rumored based on the fact that it's been cited that he's in talks with them to do it. Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart are also reportedly have been seen talking to people about doing it. So those, I think those ones are safe to say are going to happen.
Well, Halle Berry posted that tweet with her in the white hair too.
Listen,
so that's why
Halle Berry, good for you. I'm glad that you want to be relevant. You haven't been good in a movie ever. So congratulations.
You had your chance with Hugh Jackman and Swordfish, and that movie tanked.
Yeah, that was a terrible movie. But anyways, I do think that I think we're over reading into this, and when I say we, I mean Putty. Because what I see with this movie is what Putty said. It's well, you said you had a theory. I'll let you go in a sec, JD. But I think it is he's gonna kill the Fox universe. And I do think what's going to happen is the reason I believe Channing Tatum will be in this, because Emil Hirsch will probably also be in this, because it's going to be done in like a jokey Deadpool comedy multiverse way, where it's going to be like the ending of the movie where he's just going to be Flash universe, see Channing Tatum in the thing, kill him, leave, go to the next universe. So yeah, Storm is probably going to be in it for 1 second to turn around in a chair, get stabbed in the face, and then move on to the next person. So like, I don't see significant roles from anyone except for
death scenes,
other than Hugh Jackman. Because I feel like for some reason, Hugh Jackman is going to stay with him. Maybe he can't figure out how to kill Hugh Jackman, so he just gives up trying to kill him and just says, okay, you come with me. We have to do this to save the universe. And so they're just going around killing people, because I don't see a place in this movie where Halle Berry has an extended role. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, maybe, because they're really vital parts of the movies.
Yeah.
Like Storm is a huge part of the comic books, but they improperly used her for the entirety of all of the movies.
Whether it was Halle Berry or the other girl from the rebooted franchise.
I like the other girl better. I can't remember who.
Well, I just like that they dressed her in the old-fashioned '80s version of Storm. You know what I mean? The one that was the
Mohawk.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that they actually gave that justice, even though it was technically in the '80s that movie anyway. So it worked out. So
okay, but there's also Brian Cox is reportedly in the movie. I don't, and he, you know who he played, right? You remember that?
Stryker.
Oh yeah.
Buddy was like, oh no, he was Stryker. Oh shit, I was wrong. Yeah, he played Stryker. Which that's good. I don't want Jennifer Garner back really, but I'm assuming once again.
But that technically is part of the Fox universe.
Yeah, so but like I'm assuming he's gonna go to that universe 727, whatever it's gonna be called.
967-1111.
Jennifer Garner's gonna be there. He's gonna kill her Elektra. He's gonna kill Ben Affleck Daredevil. He's gonna go to the next universe. We're gonna quickly see the Fantastic Four from that movie. He's gonna kill all of them. And he's going to eventually get to someone who's going to be like a boss, right?
Well,
so that's how I see that happening. No, you don't get to talk. JD, tell me what your theory is.
My theory is, what if this is the Splinter and they're already dead? So in, like, you know how it's because another all but confirmed character is Mobius in this film, right? Okay. So the TVA is going to be a big part of this. So what if this is one of those Nexus events where instead of preventing the Days of Future Past event, this is Days of Future Past happened to where it was supposed to happen, and that's why the world is destroyed already. So they're already dead.
That's the best theory of all of us so far. Okay, Putty, hurry up. I know you got something to say. Let it out.
No, I'm going to let it out because the thing is, I know there's a lot of like rumors out there that are going backwards and forwards and what's going to be done. You know what I mean?
And remember, Deadpool and Wolverine are the two with healing abilities, and that's why they couldn't die in that event.
Well, no, I get it. And see, but here's the thing: the thing is the whole TVA thing, the whole, and again, this goes into other lines, and I won't say what those storylines are, but the major thing that it looks like is that because of the Deadpool time traveling from the second movie. That's going to get the attention because what's going to happen is he's going to continue to screw up shit after that. He's going to go find Daredevil, and it's going to happen. That's where the TVA is going to get involved, and they're like, "Okay, you need to stop doing this. You're screwing up stuff." And now we have a situation where there's now a whole thing where mutants have taken over. I'm not going to, we're out. Not going to go say where that's going. My point to the whole thing is this: it gives them a proper reason to put him out there to get people with him, like. Why? Because if you look at again, this is actually coming from the actual scenes they've shown that from the actual on the set. There's scenes where you show them fighting, but then there's a discussion scene where basically Deadpool's talking to Wolverine. You don't hear what he's saying; they're just doing dialogue. Wolverine walks away, turns around and looks at Deadpool because Deadpool says something, gets angry, walks up to him, and there's actually video footage of this. And he goes up to him, puts his knife into him, pulls him up, throws it, and then Deadpool flies back. So. Based on what they're saying there, the way it sounds is The reason we're getting this alternate version is because that version that we're seeing of Wolverine is actually the same one we see of Patrick Stewart that died in Multiverse of Madness. And it's all from that same 90s X-Men type look, you know what I mean? And the whole idea is he's back there trying to recruit them because he was picked up by the TVA and they need more power to stop something else that's happening in another universe because Fox has screwed up all this thing with their whole time travel and everything. And that's why Deadpool's doing this, because
Deadpool won't work with the TVA.
Well, no, but listen what I'm saying. The reason I'm stating this is because one reason. They prune him, and that's why he ends up in the thing. You know what I mean? And there's so many different lines that they're saying about how he gets to that area with the 20th Century Fox logo, and I don't know which one's true, but
that's limbo. Like that's the end of time,
right? But that's what I was thinking.
That's the end of time where Mobius and Loki and all of them went in that Loki season.
So
that's the end of time. So then,
why is Wolverine there?
Because they're immortal.
Right, I agree with that, and that's why my next point. That's the reason why they're also making him do this stuff. Everyone else keeps dying because they can't outlast or anything when it comes to like Magneto or whatever the big threat's going to be. Which again, that's only what I believe to be. But my point to the thing is that's why they're getting.
I don't think Magneto's going to be a big threat unless they bring Fassbender back. If Ian McKellen back, he's just going to be a cameo, kind of like the way he was in first, kind of like the way Hugh Jackman was in First Class.
I guess we'll have to see, because I don't think so. I think that he's got a little more than that. I think there's going to be a small, like maybe 30-minute, or even might be the climax of the film, where we actually see him and all the other people. And they're
who's the other people you're talking about?
Do you really want to do it?
Say it. If that's your theory, that's your theory.
I don't want to know where they're going. Name the people.
All the X-Men I just named.
No,
what they're saying,
not going to happen.
What they're saying out there is what's going to happen is because of the Magneto thing, Magneto now has control, which means all mutants are more powerful.
Why wouldn't Magneto have died in this event?
Because this is not the event. That's not the event. The event they're talking about is it's another universe that was created based on someone that's already in the MCU. That's almost it.
Okay, so
who's that someone?
Tell
you already
me.
know.
Then say it.
Scarlet Witch.
And I'll debunk it. She's not coming back. She flat out said she's not coming back. She doesn't want to do it anymore. She is done. She is done. They killed her off in Multiverse of Madness. She is not coming back.
I'm going to say two things here. One, there's a really obvious thing there. I don't know how, especially Putty, who's just saying all this stuff, is not picking up. And two, I'm surprised JD hasn't learned by now that they lie all the time, especially with Marvel.
Yep.
So what I already see happening is all those people we just named, all of fantasy cameos that we could get from Fox. I know what it is now. It's right in front of our faces. You're going to get a 10-minute opening sequence where the entire universe is going to get wiped out. No one knows what happens. And we're going to end up in the middle of the end of the universe where it's just a huge desert where the only two people left alive is Logan wandering forever and Deadpool chasing after him and being like, yo, dude, leave me alone. I'm trying to go find people. And then something's going to happen. They're going to both get pulled back into the Marvel proper that we know, maybe by the TVA or something, who accidentally end up in this universe where the only two people left alive is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then. Why did Kevin Feige say...
I'll say this. They will
Tell me
not
what Kevin
waste...
Feige said.
They will not waste House of M on a 30-minute scene in Deadpool 3. I'll say that now.
Because that could be a 2-part.
I get it can be, but here's my thing. The reason why I don't think that's going to happen is because other things are planned based on what, again, these are all rumors. But hold on. No, because it's outside. Remember, we said we can't talk outside of Deadpool.
Tell me what's planned.
Okay. There has been a picture already of a thing called The Mutants. Not the movie, but they're saying it says The Mutant Saga. It was a leaked photo, okay? Again, against leaks, I understand rumors, okay? I understand it's leaks. The rumor mill is this. This is going to be, the Secret Wars movie is going to be their way to actually be able to reset things and actually do a whole mutant saga now. So they can actually focus and make new characters. And the
Phase
whole rumor mill,
yes, I get that.
And what they were saying is if they have signed this and it's true, they know Hugh Jackman is money. And they said we can use him as the one that recruits these new mutants from other universes.
Okay, and what if it's not true?
That's fine. My thing is this. Kevin Feige said one thing. This is the one thing he actually did say.
Tell me what
he said. I want to give the Fox mutants justice.
No, he didn't say that.
No, he never said that.
Really?
He never said that.
When did he say that? That would have been everywhere on the internet if he said that.
This was a while back. He said this.
He said he's
when he bought
can't
Fox.
wait to do mutants.
He says he wants to do the X-Men proper.
No, he did say that, but apparently he said, I also want to make sure that I give them a justice for like their final call. Like I'll look it up
They're
right now.
finally called. They wrapped up that universe with a nice little bow in the last
I
the
don't.
Phoenix Saga.
I don't think he doesn't. That's what he's saying. They're saying, I know you guys did not like what they did over there, so we're going to give you something big.
So they're just going to reboot it, kind of like the way they rebooted
but
Spider-Man.
this is all I'm saying, and I'm okay if this happens. This is perfectly fine with me. What Putty's saying is that all these people, they're going to dish out millions and millions of dollars to bring back all these monster huge names to have them in a movie for 5 seconds. Then they're going to tell an entire, like one of the biggest storylines ever in comic books in 30 minutes, just so that later they could tell that story again. That's what you're telling us.
That's not the story that we're telling later. I think it's going to be a different story, but that's more my theory now.
You think they're going to tell House of M in one movie based on someone else's story, and then they're never going to tell House of M again?
Because it's not going to be just directly House of M. All it is going to be is this, and this is why.
What's going to happen? She's going to say no more mutants.
No,
we're already going to have no more mutants.
That part's not going to happen. What's going to happen is they're going to go.
But then that'll completely debunk the point of Deadpool killing the mutants if she goes no more mutants.
No, they're not going to do that. But they're just doing the one part of House of Mutants where Magneto takes over and becomes king. What it is she's the one that actually gets him in that status to become king, and she sits up right beside him on the throne. Where now mutants have taken over.
I could see him as king, but not with Scarlet Witch there.
Okay, I mean, again, Scarlet Witch is there. This is not the point. I'm not even upset about this. I'm just in shock of the fact that we think we're going to waste one of the most important storylines in all of comics in a Deadpool movie in a 30-minute story in the middle of the movie that's not the actual story of the movie.
Because here's the thing, you have to also think they have to build that story up for later, which means they would probably have to hire make a new Scarlet Witch, go through all that storyline again.
Right. So they got to build to it in phase 6.
But
look how long
have you not realized how stupid Marvel is? And lately they don't build as well as they used to.
I know, but they started planting the seeds for the Infinity Saga in Iron Man 2. Right. And look how long it took them to get to the biggest, arguably the biggest Marvel story of all time.
But you see also that they have screwed up so badly now that they're all out there trying to fix things, shorten things down, and then they push Deadpool. Again, keep in mind we have the actor strike. This is not counting to that. But I'm saying they pushed the movie forward. They're wanting to make this a big focus. Why is this such a big focus comparatively to other movies that are getting pushed back? Why is this such a major focus?
Because they just want to get it out there and then get it over with.
See, I don't think that's it.
But how many? Okay, not that one of them is a very important storyline, but. Right. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Deadpool versus Wolverine. The House of M. We're going to tell all 3 of these stories in one 2-hour movie.
You have to remember the House of M story is not going to actually have a full story. It's just going to be, they're going to go into that world. Magneto's already taken over. And that's why TVA's like, dude, he's fucking up shit over here, but being conquered, we don't have any human people. They're like a slave there. This is not
what you're saying is they're going to be a cameo, like I was saying. They're going to end up in a universe for 2 seconds.
But that will be the universe that's created. It's already created the House of M universe. So that's how we get House of M. It's just
so it's going to be a 5-second, 10-second.
Well, no, there's still gonna be battles in there, and because the thing is, the idea was that's the reason why he goes back.
No, they've exhausted the Dark Phoenix saga twice now. They've done Age of Apocalypse. They've done Days of Future Past.
Well, they didn't do Age of Apocalypse. When did they do Age of Apocalypse? I mean, Apocalypse wasn't Age of Apocalypse.
No, it kind of was like on the verge of it.
I mean, you got to think Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, or the Apocalypse movie, both had that anyway. Like Blink was in Days of Future Past, which had nothing to do with it. That was the Age of Apocalypse.
You know what? I think my Magneto theory is it's Onslaught and not House of M.
So you think they're going to do Age of Apocalypse over there?
No, Onslaught was never part of Age of Apocalypse.
Oh no, I'm thinking. That's what yeah, you're talking about Prime. You're talking about X-Men Prime after the Apocalypse series that came out, right?
No, it's just X-Men. That was Uncanny X-Men.
I thought Onslaught. What am I thinking? Onslaught was in.
Onslaught was this creature that possessed Magneto, and that could be the alternate
universe. Okay. No, I'm thinking the big orange guy that was in Days of Future Past.
No, that was Holocaust.
Mojo.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. No, Holocaust.
No, it's Holocaust.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
Anyways, Onslaught is like a big jacked Magneto. I don't know. I think you're all wrong. I think this movie is going to be a buddy cop action movie that's going to be all Typical
Silliness.
It's going to be typical Deadpool. Everyone that they're saying is going to be in this movie, all the rumors are going to be true, but they're all going to be 10 minutes like montage of just people dying, and then it's going to be Deadpool and Wolverine on a buddy cop adventure.
They're going to do it like they did in Shazam in that restaurant
Because he
scene
still
where
has
it's
the
Wonder
time-
Woman,
he's-
but you don't see Wonder Woman.
He still has the time travel device.
Apparently, with the leaked script, there he might not get. They might take that from him and then have him going through like they did with that they do with Loki. Like, here's my thing.
Yeah, but you can have him illegally time traveling, and then they get caught by the TVA, and that's how the movie starts. You know, like.
No, I get it, but that's what I'm saying. Here's my thing. I do want this stuff to be true, no matter what it is. I'm fine with it. I've been such on this road of watching things like videos and people talking about stuff, and then putting things together based on what they see or what's talked about. It's so hard to figure out which leakers are actually like they've actually been right in the past and right in it wrong. Here's my thing. Based on what the actors are saying and what we have in here, there's a lot of plot holes, but based on what we've seen, there's some fun stuff. Like, we already know Deadpool kills the Fox universe is something that exists now. We know that has to be true based on the whole thing. But again, it could be just a pruning location as well. You know what I mean? So we could be just not even having that. My thing is the reason I'm putting these out there is because I feel like if this is true, it is going to be a big idea, because here's the wrong one of it. If they can get some of these people to come back, then they can do the other movies, then do Secret Wars and actually have them do the same thing they did in Endgame, where they come out and go, we're here to help you guys fighting against King's big army of people, and now have Fox and MCU in there in a mixed combined war. That would, of course, make people go into shit frenzy.
I think they're going to do full recast. I think there's potential that maybe you get Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman stick around for the rest of the X-Men in the MCU run, but I don't think anybody else is coming back. Zero people are coming back. It's going to be a full recast. And this movie might glimpse at what's going to come, but I can't see them, knowing how upset they've been, the higher ups, with like the performance by Marvel and how they're overloading people with stuff and like it's quality over quantity or quantity over quality. So I could see them trying to not force mutants, permanent mutants, on us for this movie, because they're still we're at the beginning of a phase right now where we're not even planning to get mutants until the next phase.
Well, yeah,
so I can't see them introducing us to like 10 new people that we're not going to see for 5 years. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get that, but that's where the stage was, because they were talking about it, and this is just people talking about it, and just the rumor mill, that it could be this. They bring, and again, just let me map it out and explain this, and then I don't mind getting judgment, okay? But basically,
you're already getting judgment. You don't have to
worry. It doesn't matter. I don't give a crap. Anyway, that's the point. They're bringing. People already knew Hugh Jackman would be here. They're trying to keep all the other ones secret. What happens is they put this movie out, they bring them into this world. Now we have other movies that come into play and everything that lead into Secret Wars. And though we do Kang's Dynasty, which basically is just inside the MCU, it's a canon there. And then all of a sudden we have Secret Wars, all those mutants come out. But then what happens is we can't have those deaths. We can have Halle Berry like fight a great battle of Storm, and then she could die in Secret Wars, and that kills her off. But then the things are, and this is where they're saying Hugh Jackman might have signed a big deal, to where then what happens after this, when they reset and go into the next phase, he is like, okay, I need to get a new thing. And that's where the movie called The Mutants, the reason it's not called X-Men is because it's Hugh Jackman, apparently, again, rumor mill, going and recruiting
when they announced the original slate of this phase that never ended up being true, wasn't The Mutants one of the movies on the thing?
Well, yeah. And that's the thing. That's why it got pushed back. And there's also, again, the whole thing where they're like, we got to go a creative control. We got to do something to get people excited. And so far, just the leaks alone has gotten way more attention. The Deadpool leaks have gotten way more attention. They've even noticed it than Ant-Man Quantum Mania has ever gotten as far as movie reviews. Like, they're saying this whole thing is such a big thing that we might want to run on this, because we know people are going to be hyped about it. So if we can tease them that there's a possibility that these people coming back, they're going to be.
A big reason that they're drawing up interest with the leak stuff is because if you see how DC's doing it right now, they're straight up just telling you everything they're doing. This guy's going to be in the movie. He's going to be played by this actor.
Right.
Marvel is still not telling anybody. They have movies that are like, almost at the end of production where they haven't even announced who's in the movie yet.
Yeah.
And I think that might be
That's
good
harmful
thing.
to them.
It's a good thing in the sense that it's drumming up attention, but it's a bad thing in the sense that you're just letting people like us run wild with ideas when
You're right.
we're not going to know what's going to happen in the movie by telling us things, but at least it'll stop the internet from arguing over dumb things. Like,
Paint the picture.
you're giving us an idea. This is what this movie's going to be, right? Like, and I agree with it and I disagree with it. It is what it is, but I of all the things, I hope that what you're saying is going to happen. I really do, but I will die on this hill that I have no idea what your thing is with Halle Berry. I just don't get it. Every single person you've mentioned in this thing has been Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm using her again. It was just the first one on the list. That's literally the first one. That's literally why I was in there.
What?
It could be anyone.
See, I'm thinking now, and you got me thinking. And then we mentioned Age of Apocalypse. What if it's not Scarlet Witch at Magneto's side, but it's Rogue, like in Age of Apocalypse?
Now, okay.
I'd rather have that.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. That when they said they were going to do a whole mutant saga, you literally just opened up to what I was hoping for. I actually would rather than do House of M over there and do Age of Apocalypse, because at least in Age of Apocalypse, you remember in House of M they had other superheroes. Age of Apocalypse, literally just mutants. With them saying the mutant saga, it makes me think this is a perfect time for them to do Age of Apocalypse because it wipes everything.
No, not Age of Apocalypse. They're just going to mention, like, it's going to be in brief passing. I don't think it's going to be a full on. It's too big, Age of Apocalypse.
But you could do a pass through, like what Putty said.
Yeah.
Okay. Where you see, oh, who's this guy? Oh, it's Bishop. And then you see,
what if we
Deadpool
get the
and
one-handed
Logan
Wolverine
walking? Oh, I know that guy. It's Cable.
That's my point. See, this brings in where you can actually do the one-handed Wolverine, but actually recast him, because then you can start setting up for these new castings, but in a very wild and different way.
Yeah, and you can have a scene in like their beat up bar in the
we finally get Keanu
Logan.
Reeves as a one-handed Logan.
Yeah, and you can have him having like both, like, they're both disgruntled conversation with each other about, like, you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot.
I'm going to say this right now, even though no matter what I'm dreaming of, the thing I'm really excited about is when it came to Marvel in general, my focus in my whole life has been mutants. I think you guys have already realized that. I'm addicted to the whole mutant thing. It's been something since a little kid. And even when I brought in other stuff, Spider-Man, doesn't matter. It was always mutants for me. My top 3 Marvel characters, Nightcrawler, Jubilee, Deadpool. What are they all? Mutants. So no matter what happens, I'm bound.
What a shitty list of.
I don't give a shit. I'm sorry.
Did we ever
that's like saying Forge is one of your favorite mutants.
I'm sorry. I love Nightcrawler, but everyone hated Jubilee. But Jubilee was kind of like what helped me introduce me more.
But people hated Jubilee because it was created for children
or that
cartoon. So well, I understand that, especially your age. The people would have been older and understood that, right? Like, but for me, I was just like a little kid, so Jubilee was fine for me.
Yeah. And see, the thing is, then Generation X and all that came out, and I was really addicted to those storylines. I liked that branch off. And
that's like always a weird one for me. Like, I know you like mutants, but like Gen X never really was good.
No, I preferred X-Force.
What was the thing that really pulled you in? Like, X-Force, I loved. X-Force was my jam.
X-Force #1 for me. I'm just saying Generation X. I mean, you gotta remember, I was collecting all of them. You know what I mean? Like, when they did Age of Apocalypse, I had Gambit and X-Turtles. I had Astonishing X-Men and all that stuff. I had all the Astonishing. I can't remember which one was the X-Men. Anyway,
it was the Astonishing X-Men.
It was fun. Okay. So anyway, but the point is that's why I'm so excited about this, is because the meat for me was always mutants. It was something that I just loved in general and was more focused on.
Marvel went through a really, really terrible period in the 80s where the only thing that they had going for them was X-Men.
And Spider-Man. Spider-Man comics were going
strong. I will say this, though.
Spider-Man kind of died until Todd McFarlane came.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I want to say this right now. I just want to have this, but this is based on rumors, but if we do get James Marsden back, if we do get him, all I want him to one point look at Wolverine and say, what do you expect? Black leather? No one gets it.
I get it. But that was dumb. The yellow spandex. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Oh, what if it's the suit that he got in the deleted scene of the Wolverine?
No, because that was the brown and yellow one.
No, it
wasn't. Yellow
and blue.
Yeah. No, that was the brown and yellow one. Look
yellow
back.
And blue. At the end of the movie where they show the briefcase and has a suit in it?
It was brown. It was the brown and yellow suit. Look at it. Go back.
Google it right now. Someone Google it. Someone on the old Google, and then I never want to talk about Marvel again.
I always want to talk about Marvel. It's not like I'm obsessed with anything Marvel. But while we're here, guys, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Drop a subscribe if you haven't
It's
subscribed
black
already.
and yellow.
Oh, well, I mean, but I think they're going for the brown, though.
If you look at it in the screenshots of the actual movie, it looks brown because of the lighting. But when you see the prop, like behind the scenes taking pictures of it, it's black and white and yellow.
It's black and yellow.
It's black and yellow. Okay.
But yeah, I could see what Putty's saying, because when you see it with the lighting that they use in the movie, it looks brown.
It's black and yellow. As
But yeah, you could see
Wiz
pictures
Khalifa
of them.
said.
Yeah, you could see people taking pictures of the prop, and it's black.
Well, I was, you know me, I want the brown and yellow. That's the OG one. I mean, that's
I want the one with the mustache on it.
I don't want anything. You want the one with the whiskers, the cat,
Yeah, yeah.
the cat suit.
The cat suit.
That's it's back there.
Go
in that box
go look
set.
up go look up what's the Incredible Hulk one? What was it?
It's right
what
there.
was it?
Incredible Hulk versus Wolverine. See right here.
Yeah,
That's
The
it,
whiskers.
right there.
I got the Funko.
Anyways, we're moving on. I want to talk about DC before this video becomes 4 hours long. So we
boy.
had 3 huge announcements. Does anybody know what those 3 huge announcements were?
I don't.
The casting for Superman Legacy.
The casting for Superman Legacy. So number
Lord.
1, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner.
As Guy Gardner. Finally,
What?
we finally get the Nathan Fillion Green Lantern.
Oh, okay. I'm down for that. I'm down for
The
that.
shittiest Green Lantern, but
I mean, but that's okay.
I think he's gonna do a good
going
job
to
there.
have the bowl cut. That's what's been said.
even better.
Isabella Merced is going to be Hawk
Hawk Girl.
which I find that's kind of a weird choice, especially when they've been like, I don't remember what race, to be honest.
Egyptian,
Hawk Girl
I
is,
think.
but I'm guessing, yeah, it was like Egyptian or somewhere in Africa.
I never really got into her storylines anyway. Like as far as Hawk Girl and Hawk
I know a lot of
what's the Hawk
Hawkman.
guy?
I don't know a lot of Hawk Girl.
yeah.
It's also weird that she's called Hawk Girl because she's definitely not a girl. Well, I mean, like she's a woman, but he's like Hawk Man.
So they
Hawk Girl.
recast then from Black Adam then.
No, because I think they're still going to use him as Hawkman.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
He was really good.
So this is a Flash situation where he kind of changed some things, but not everything.
well, yeah,
I
because
just think
Blue
we're
Beetle's gonna be in
adding
this movie.
characters now.
Yeah.
No, because Hawk Girl was in that too, wasn't she?
I don't think
No,
so.
she-
Was she?
no.
No, I'm
Hawkman
thinking,
was not Hawk
I'm
Girl.
thinking Cyclone. I'm thinking Cyclone.
Yeah, you're thinking Cyclone. See, okay, come on, guys, get it together. And then, Edie Gathge has been cast as, I hope I said that right. Gathge has been cast as Mr. Terrific, which that's huge news for me because that's
I
love
don't know what she
obscure
looks like.
characters. So that's great.
I've never heard the actress though.
Anthony
And then-
Kerrigan.
Huh?
Anthony Kerrigan. The guy who played Dr. Zaz in Gotham. He's playing Metamorpho.
Oh yeah, Metamorpho. Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, that's correct. Which that's cool. Having Metamorpho in it is pretty cool. That might be the villain of the movie.
So that
They're-
means
they're-
there's
they're
no that
going
means
real
there's no
random.
Lex just yet. Lex may be a tease at the end of the movie.
That could be why they're still casting Lex. It's the only one we don't know yet.
Yeah.
So
And-
far, I'm happy with every single thing they
Yeah.
said about
You
this
you
movie.
called out David Cornsweet.
Yeah.
And I called out Rachel Brosnahan. We knew that those were the two best choices
Well,
for
I
the
thought they would pick Emma Mackey just based on popularity. But I mean, I'm glad to see they went with her because she's the best actress of the group.
Yes. She is very, very good. I loved her in House of Cards.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of rumors that Nicholas Hoult is going to be the front runner to get Lex Luthor.
Really?
Okay, I could take that.
I mean, I'll take it. They're in the same age range. I think a smart move would be to have the more of the modern Lex Luthor take, where he's the same age as it's
Superman?
Lex Luthor Jr. You know, it's not
yeah.
old man Lex Luthor. He's like a 30, 40-year-old. Where in a lot of the movies you get old man Lex Luthor. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Gene Hackman with no hair. But you know, you don't always get what you want.
Actually, technically, you do get a Gene Hackman scene with no hair when his thing pulls off the wig at the end of Superman 4.
That's true. But we need Ryan Gosling as somebody. Like they need to cast him as somebody, and please be Hal Jordan. I would very much like that.
He's too busy being Ken.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
He put himself there.
That's so messed up. I can't believe you said that.
He chose
That's a
the role,
slur.
man. I'm saying, how's that slur?
That's a slur to Barbies.
Oh, you know what? Screw it, Barbie.
Anyways, we know for a fact now Alita is gonna get 1, if not 2 sequels.
Sequels, yeah.
Which that's fantastic for me. That movie's amazing.
Visually stunning, that movie.
Yeah, and like Tron has announced a bunch of new people.
Oh, Jared Leto, dear God.
I mean, that's fine, but the cast is like just a lot of people, right?
Wait,
Jared
I didn't
Leto's
know-
fine. I love Morbius.
I've actually wow. I can't talk no more after you said that.
What did you think about the trailer for Craven?
Okay, so here's my thing. There's a few things in there that kind of bug me. Like, for example, the spiders from the tree. Like, I'm like, quit trying to force to add this guy's in the Spider-Man universe, because if you're trying, because here's my thing. I know that they're going for his solo story.
So he hates that, but he wants to force everything into Deadpool.
No. I'm just saying it's just a little weird that they had to force that in the trailer. Like, they're like, hey, look at this. There's spiders here. It's like, don't tell us that. Like, there's people that are not going to know this no matter what, even if you put spiders in there, that he's associated with Spider-Man. So make it a good movie. Because already people are going to be like, well, how is Quicksilver Craven? You know what I mean? Like, we're already getting characters.
I don't think anybody remembers he's Quicksilver.
I know. Well, apparently I know, because
How do you make Zeus his dad?
I know, right? Well, I gotta think Chris Evans, if he comes back as Human Torch, is going to be a certain situation. Anyway, but yeah, I do like the way the trailer was. I actually looks like it's going to be a fun movie. I'm glad that they're going rated R. My thing is, I do feel, or I am afraid that they're going to have the stigma of what Morbius did, or that it's gonna they're thinking they're doing something good and it's going to be as bad as Morbius.
I mean, Sony already is in a rough situation because, in my opinion, the last Spider-Verse was not as good as the first one. Not that it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
Venom 2 was not good. Morbius was a train wreck. I mean, I love it to death, but it was a train wreck.
Well, here's my thing with Morbius. It's like, okay, you have two movies. You have Kraven the Hunter and Morbius. Now, Kraven the Hunter, if you're going to take either one and make him PG-13, the reason I would do more for Kraven the Hunter, even though I wouldn't want to, is with Morbius, you're drinking plasma and you're not drinking blood. Like, when you take
plasma,
blood,
Putty, everyone knows about the plasma.
But I know,
his hand. He drinks through his hand.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
he absorbs it. Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to say is they didn't make that one rated R, but they're doing with Kraven. So I'm like, I feel like what's happening here is they're like, oh, well, Morbius didn't work because we didn't make it rated R. So let's just make this other one rated R. And there's not going to be anything that makes.
But they made Let There Be Carnage rated R, and that was a train wreck too.
Well, yeah. Well, that's my point.
That train wreck, man.
But you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm afraid with Kraven is that they're just doing the same thing over again, going, oh, just make it rated R. You know what I mean?
No, I think they're taking a little bit more care into this because
so.
Aaron Taylor Johnson really likes the character. This is a character he wanted to play.
He's also like a much different actor than what we've been seeing. Like, Tom Hardy wanted to play Venom, I get it, and Tom Hardy's a good actor, but like Aaron Taylor Johnson is like a method actor. Like, he's probably so deep into this, like becoming this character.
Which means he's going to be great at the character, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a good story, good plot.
We don't know that. He's going to try his best to make it what it is.
Well, yeah,
like I'm surprised Jared Leto didn't become a vampire for that movie. You know,
and I think that's where the difference lies between Leto and Johnson. Leto, it gets involved into the role, but only for himself. He doesn't care about the rest of the movie as long as he's in character. Whereas Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think, wants more out of it. He wants everybody around him to do the best they can as well, because look at how he was in Kick-Ass.
No, and I agree, but see, Kick-Ass, I feel like, again, it's one of those situations where Kick-Ass was a good movie because it wasn't just him, even though he was the star of it. You got to think the casting was great. What's her name as a Hit Girl was amazing. Like, you got to think if they only cast him and he does a great job, but then the other cast is not as good. Yeah, he could speak up and say it's bad. Like, after the movie comes out, he could be like, okay, this is horrible, but he's already been contracted now. He's got to do this role. So for all I know, this could be a great move he does, but the movie could end up being terrible.
Don't be crap. Be a 7.
Well, I want it to be good.
You know?
I want it to be good, but I'm just saying.
Be Shazam. Be Black Adam. I can live with that. Just be a fine movie that's entertaining and watchable.
Yeah, I mean, they have the Rhino. They're bringing in Rhino, and they're bringing in Calypso in this movie too.
But see, even in that situation, Rhino, like the whole thing about Rhino, like the way he becomes the Rhino, I don't like that either. You know what I mean? It's like I I like the old fashioned, wearing the suit, but I get it. It doesn't really work for the times, So
You want to just somehow like 14-foot man in a bright gray suit with a horn on.
No, I get it. I get it. Doesn't make sense. I get it. Doesn't make sense. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
even
I
in
mean, they didn't do that in the Spider-Man games, and that Rhino worked.
I mean, I get it. Yeah, it was fun and everything.
Just make Rhino fight the Juggernaut.
I just know that
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Sony, when they started, like, outside of their old movies and everything, once they started doing these other side projects and let Marvel take over Spider-Man, they've been doing a shit show. It's been bad, you know what I mean? And so I literally have Craven down as a low bar, where, like, of course, Deadpool, I'm like, got it right up here. If a movie feels like it's going to be good, it's going to be good. But when you have a bad track record, that's what scares me. The only thing is MCU is also on that same path too, because of this last phase, or this phase that we started in, it's just been a train wreck. So I don't know where to look. Like, DC, honestly, is probably going to be doing a lot better in this situation when it comes to the whole. But Sony is literally, in my eyes, the lowest of the tier when it comes to all the Marvel movie studio or comic book movie studios, because they've just done such a bad job. So I'm excited for it, but I have very low standards for it because of their track record, and that's because of
I don't know. I
Venom 2
think because there's not much hype behind it, I think this may be a surprise hit.
I want to be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong, and I hope so.
So I want to know which movie, if you have one of these movies, you have to marry, fuck, kill these movies, okay? Steel, all right, Jonah Hex, and Catwoman.
I've never seen Jonah Hex, so that one's gonna be hard. Okay, good.
Well, I mean, Steel, you have to kill Steel because that's just
okay.
Then I would marry Jonah Hex, and yeah, that would be my
But is
decision.
that just because Catwoman has Halle Berry?
Yes,
that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, yeah, mine would be
Jonah Hex looks like a cuddler.
Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex is genuinely a not good movie.
No, it's terrible.
Like, I watched it when it first came on, and
I still have more fun with Jonah Hex than I did with Catwoman.
Okay, what about Steel?
Yeah, Catwoman sucks.
Steel compared to Jonah Hex. Like, what are the two?
Steel is the worst out of the three.
I don't know. Steel's okay.
So I still haven't watched Jonah Hex, but Steel, I watched.
At least he doesn't try to sell you printer ink.
All right, Superman 4 or Supergirl?
Which one's better?
Ooh.
Supergirl.
Yeah, I would say Supergirl too.
Wow, you hate Superman 4 that much?
Hey, at least Supergirl had Peter O'Toole and a very young Max Headroom.
I'll take it. Green Lantern or The Losers?
The Losers.
The Losers.
Even though
Red
Ryan
or
Reynolds
The Losers?
Which one?
Red
or The Losers?
Red.
Yeah, Red was good. Red or Red 2?
Red.
All right.
Okay, Red or Wanted?
Red.
All because of John Malkovich. Man, that he was amazing.
I just
in
don't
that role.
like Wanted.
That was a bad movie.
But here's the funny thing too: Steel was so bad, but I'm not gonna lie. I literally had the action figure that was spring loaded, and the hammer would go like this. It was the stupidest toy ever, but I had it. I'm not gonna lie.
No, the stupidest toy was the Batman where you would squeeze the legs and his arm would just go into T-pose.
They made that character. They made that. Those are actually based off the Battle Hawk figures. What was it called? Those old
Silverhawks.
Silverhawks. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Those are my god, they are Silverhawks.
Yeah, that main action figure is just a remake of the Silverhawks.
They just took all the stock and just repainted
Swap the heads.
Yep,
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I've known that for all these years.
I had both toys so much.
But like, it was so funny too, because I remember like when I first got it, I got that. I got a Silverhawk like several years later, and I go, "This is just Batman." I realized, Silverhawks came before the Batman figure. Never mind.
Isn't it so funny that Batman '89 like changed the universe of movies? Okay.
In terms of superhero movies, yeah.
Well, no. We gotta stop
I'm in the middle of talking.
Okay, fine.
It changed the face of superhero movies. Okay, and the first movie sold a lot of toys. No questions asked. It was a dark, gritty movie. Everyone knew that it was dark and gritty. Then in the second movie, all of a sudden, it was like we forgot that the first movie was so dark and gritty, and all of a sudden it was so wrong to sell these toys to children just because McDonald's was involved now. Like, this is what we've become. Batman Forever is a product of McDonald's.
Yeah, to make it more kid-friendly. Not just McDonald's, but consumerism in general.
But they already sold toys a lot for '89. So what's different about the first movie and the second
Well,
movie? It's
well, no,
McDonald's and
well,
Diet
no.
Coke.
But there was a few things I think they felt was really bad. For example, kids were uncomfortable with the penguin character because he's so grotesquely like the way they made him, like the biting of the
Were
nose.
they
Like,
uncomfortable with the Catwoman character? Because I was in my
Wait,
pants area.
well, yeah, but that's exactly why it was always the penguin. They always focused on the penguin as being the reason why kids got scared, because the Joker wasn't as scary as the penguin apparently, because the Joker still just looked like a clown, while the penguin was like this deformed with little flippers. Like I get it. My thing is that when you were talking about the whole thing ushering in,
Hubba hubba hubba.
yeah, but my thing is
Who
the
do you
whole.
trust?
Anyway, I got there. Okay, now I've got the movie in my head. Okay, anyway, but yeah, my
Bob,
thing
you're
is
my main guy.
You, I'm a number one.
you.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm
What
a
do you
number one.
That's what he says. Okay, go continue. Sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, and I agree with you because of the toys. I feel like what really helped it out was that it wasn't just a Batman movie, it was Batman in general, because the Batman anime series and the Batman movie put a wave of kids. You remember when Superman came out, there wasn't like a cartoon to go along with it. Batman had that cartoon to go with it to sell more toys and really get people
The
out
Batman
there.
cartoon didn't come out in 2 years. 2 years after Batman Returns.
Right, but that's
It was a
that's what I'm saying.
Is Jack Nicholson Joker the precursor to Triple H?
Right.
Bye-bye.
But that's the point where I feel like a lot of the movies ushered in, because Batman was doing so good. Even when Batman Forever came out, it wasn't good, but it sold a lot that a lot of companies were like,
Batman Forever is fine.
Well, no, it's fine, but I'm saying comparatively to the Burton movies, okay? That's what I'm trying to put out there, to what people thought.
Hey,
that's what you gotta remember, that's where I felt a lot of the, okay, we need to go on this bandwagon, let's start buying them up. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it was Batman, but I don't feel like it was until they saw the money between, like, the later films.
I have a question before we end this. In 2023, would you consider Big Trouble in Little China underrated and or underappreciated?
The original?
Because there is only one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, well, then what are we talking about 2023? That's what I'm confused about.
Have you ever talked to somebody that was like, that Big Trouble in Little China, that movie's way overrated? Has anyone ever said that?
Nobody has ever said that. No. Every time I mention that movie, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that movie. That was a good movie.
See, someone was telling me that they think it's an underrated or underappreciated movie, and I'm like, in 2023, everyone likes that movie. Like, you're not going to find someone who's like, oh, that movie's overrated.
Well, unless they've never seen it.
I hate that movie. I absolutely hate it. I don't understand why anybody likes it.
It's a fun, silly movie. I enjoyed it.
But that's no sense.
No, it
Kim
doesn't.
Cattrall is hot. That's
like Escape from LA and Escape from New York. You know what I mean? The whole comparison between the two and everything, and then making jokes about the green screen surf and everything. Those are movies that are just bad, but they're fun. It's like Toxic Avenger too.
These
are movies.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's kind of a good movie.
It is a very good movie. It's John
but that's what.
Shout out to 80s Kim Cattrall, especially in Police Academy
and Star Trek.
Yeah.
When she was the Vulcan.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for today. Let us know which decade of Kim Cattrall you like the best, and tell Putty that he's cute in the comments.
Are you a Samantha or are you a Carrie?
So.